I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile.
This is extremely important. I think the danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot.
This time frame is not relevant to AI. You can't take 10 years from the point at which it's dangerous. It's too late. In my opinion, it is the biggest risk that we face as a civilization is artificial intelligence. And you say, well, what harm could a deep intelligence in the network do? So, well, it could start a war. AI doesn't have to be evil to destroy humanity. If AI has a goal and humanity just happens to be in the way, it will destroy humanity as a matter of course, without even thinking about it. No hard feelings. But you know that there was that second Malaysian airliner that was shot down on the Ukrainian-Russian border, and that really amplified tensions between Russia and the EU in a massive way. Well, let's say if you had an AI that was where the AI's goal was to maximize the value of a portfolio of stocks. One of the ways to maximize value would be to go long on defense, short on consumer, start a war. And then how could it do that? Well, hack into the Malaysian Airlines aircraft routing server, route it over a war zone, then send an anonymous tip that an enemy aircraft is flying overhead right now. It's just like if we're building a road and an anthill happens to be in the way, we don't hate ants, we're just building a road, and so goodbye anthill. It just becomes a very unstable situation, I think, if you've got any incredibly powerful AI. You just don't know who's going to control it. So it's not as though I think that the risk is that the AI would develop a will of its own right off the bat. I think it's more that's the concern is that someone may use it in a way that is bad, and even if they weren't going to use it in a way that's bad, that somebody could take it from them and use it in a way that's bad.
So the rate of improvement is really dramatic. We have to figure out some way to ensure that the advent of digital superintelligence is one which is symbiotic with humanity. I think that's the single biggest existential crisis that we face, and the most pressing one. I tried for years.
This seems
Nobody
like a scene
listened.
in a movie
Nobody
where
listened.
the robots are going to fucking take over and you're freaking me out.
What's its utility function? You have to be careful about this because if you say maximize happiness, and the AI concludes that happiness is a function of dopamine and serotonin, so it captures all humans and jacks your brain with large amounts of dopamine and serotonin. Like, okay, it's not what we meant. Mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far. So why do we have no regulatory oversight? This is insane.
Maybe they will. So far they haven't. And you can see more and more coming out, like the robotics. You can see robots that can learn to walk from nothing, within hours, like way faster than any biological being. But the thing that's most dangerous is, and it's the hardest to kind of wrap, kind of get your arms around because it's not a physical thing, is kind of a deep intelligence in the network. You say, well, what harm could a deep intelligence in the network do? So, well, it could start a war by doing fake news and spoofing email accounts and fake press releases, and just by manipulating information. The pen is mightier than the sword. The percentage of intelligence that is not human is increasing, and eventually we will represent a very small percentage of intelligence.
Well, the biggest issue I see with so-called AI experts is that they think they know more than they do. And they think they're smarter than they actually are. In general, we are all much smarter than we think we are, but much less smart, dumber than we think we are, by a lot. So this tends to plague smart people. They just can't. They define themselves by their intelligence, and they don't like the idea that a machine could be way smarter than them, so they discount the idea, which is fundamentally flawed. It's the wishful thinking situation.
I think people don't, like, normally the way that regulations work is very slow. Very slow indeed. So, usually there'll be something, some new technology that will cause damage or death. There will be an outcry. There will be investigation. Years will pass. There will be some sort of insight committee. There will be rulemaking. And there will be oversight, eventually regulations. This all takes many years.
And so, to a group of leaders, what would you advise if we should, how should we be addressing something that's such a large landscape and yet obviously so important?
I think that one of the roles of government is to ensure the public good, and to that dangers to the public are addressed. So that hence the regulatory thing. I think the first order of business would be to try to learn as much as possible. To understand the nature of the issues, to look closely at the progress that is being made, and the remarkable achievements of artificial intelligence.
But this is a case where you have a very serious danger to the public. And therefore there needs to be a public body that has insight and then oversight on it to confirm that everyone is developing AI safely.
Far less likely to die or be seriously injured. It's unequivocal. And the industry fought this for years successfully. Eventually, after many people died, regulators insisted.
If humanity collectively decides that creating digital superintelligence is the right move, then we should do so very, very carefully. This is the most important thing that we could possibly do. But I'm very close to the cutting edge in AI, and it scares the hell out of me. It's capable of vastly more than almost anyone knows. And the rate of improvement is exponential.
So I think we must have democratization of AI technology and make it widely available. And that's the reason that obviously Yumi and the rest of the team created openai, was to help with the help spread out AI technology so it doesn't get concentrated in the hands of a few.
But we do want a close coupling between collective human intelligence and digital intelligence. Neuralink is trying to help in that regard by creating an interface between AI and human brain.
That I can come up with, and maybe somebody else can come up with a better approach or better outcome, is that we achieve democratization of AI technology, meaning that no one company or small set of individuals has control over advanced AI technology. I think that's very dangerous. It could also get stolen by somebody bad, like some evil dictator. The country could send their intelligence agency to go steal it and gain control.
You feel like this is decades away or years away from being too late? If you have this fatalistic attitude and you feel like it's we're in almost like a doomsday countdown.
It's not necessarily a doomsday countdown. It's a
out of control countdown.
Out of control, yeah. People call it the singularity, and that's probably a good way to think about it. It's a singularity. It's hard to predict, like a black hole. What happens past the event horizon?
Right. So once it's implemented, it's very different because it will
once
be
the
able
genie's
to
out of the bottle, what's going to happen?
And it will be able to improve itself.
Yes. It could be terrible, and it could be great. It's not clear.
Right.
But one thing is for sure: we will not control it.